Jey Uso left the Bloodline and stepped into a position few expected him to occupy. His departure in early 2024 did not just shift a storyline, it shifted audience perception. No longer was he merely a supporting figure to Roman Reigns, he became the emotional anchor fans rallied behind. His choice to turn against the Bloodline felt real, as if he walked away from something deeply personal rather than scripted. Immediately after that turn, his trajectory should have pointed upward. It did not. Instead, he was repositioned back into tag team situations. The momentum he acquired was not leveraged. He appeared in mid-card matches that received no significant build. Television slots meant for main events were reassigned. When his name was announced, it no longer carried the emphasis it once did during the Bloodline arc. If you're new here, make sure to like the video and subscribe. We bring you everything going on inside WWE. This mirrors what happened when he was placed center stage during his feud with Roman. During that period, his presence was instrumental in conveying the storyline's emotional intensity. He was not simply there to lose. He carried sold-out arenas. He carried heavy promos. He carried moments designed to frame Roman as vulnerable. But each time commentary suggested he might take a step toward a world title picture, WWE shifted gears. The spotlight moved elsewhere, and the story flowed without him in the center. When The Rock returned and Cody Rhodes built toward WrestleMania, both were positioned above Jey by WWE's structure. A championship match was granted to Seth Rollins in place of any significant singles push for Jey. Other wrestlers received narrative prominence while Jey stayed in segments that lacked build or payoff. The crowd continued to respond, but WWE's response to that enthusiasm never followed logically. In early 2025, Jey lost a six-man tag match on Raw that featured him and two other former challengers. The main event feud being built on the same show did not involve him. Instead, the focus turned to other baby faces. The segment he appeared in later that evening, which lasted under 4 minutes, was never repeated. There was no follow-up the following week. This pattern does not indicate preparation for career-defining storylines. It indicates gradual removal from meaningful TV presence. At times, he received brief acknowledgement, a short match, a mention on commentary, an appearance in backstage interviews. None provided an arc that pointed in a decisive direction. Title pictures did not include his name. Trope-wise, WWE slid him back into a bracket where he was neither buried nor spotlighted. There was no credible announcement of an upcoming title challenge, despite the fact that so much of the setup had occurred during the Bloodline storyline, including his proven ability to capture audience emotion. All of this occurred without visible fan outrage. The chance for Jey persisted, but there was no movement in his booking. He was treated as a valuable background player rather than the absent centerpiece of a long-planned arc. WWE continued to allocate screen time to their internal hierarchy. Performers they had marketing investment in, global recognition, and control behind the scenes. Jey has none of those categories, and his rapid decline from top storyline performer to mid-card oversight reflects it. This script is not meant to question his talent or popularity. He has both in abundance. It is meant to identify and emphasize the pattern. When WWE is faced with a performer who rose outside their blueprint, one who did not follow the staged path they designed, they retreat. Not openly but systematically through programming choices, pairing him off with less prominent wrestlers, and giving him TV time in filler segments. He is not ignored entirely. Rarely does WWE do that, but he is contained. This decline from the main storyline into obscurity often goes unnoticed because WWE plated it in several moving parts. They did not place him at the center, but neither did they reduce him to an afterthought. They slid him out of focus. Understanding this pattern requires clarity and attention to every appearance he makes. If WWE is preparing to push him later this year, they need to begin in bookends that suggest growth rather than containment. A title opportunity must be framed not between two tag matches, but as a main storyline. A meaningful character arc must evolve beyond short promos and token appearances. Until that shift happens, there is only one conclusion. WWE is handling him like a valuable piece of furniture, safe to have in the room, but not essential to the conversation. There have been several opportunities to reinsert Jey Uso into serious contention. After his move to Raw, the timing was ideal. Seth Rollins was established as World Heavyweight Champion. Cody Rhodes had completed his arc at WrestleMania. Other main event stars like Drew McIntyre and Gunther were in rotational feuds. A clean path existed for Jey to step into a solo narrative. WWE did not act on it. Instead, he was placed into a program with the Judgment Day that lasted 3 weeks and concluded with no long-term effect. He was neither elevated nor demoted, simply cycled through. That feud was absorbed by bigger matches and disappeared from weekly television. When others in that faction moved forward with clearer title objectives, Jey returned to multi-man matches with no promotional focus. Merchandise reports during this time showed strong numbers for the Yeet slogan. It was trending across WWE's internal marketing. Despite that, the character's actual relevance on television was not matched. This kind of disparity, strong crowd reaction, popular merchandise, but reduced presence, is not accidental. It reflects WWE's approach to talent they did not plan for, but cannot ignore. At live events, Jey continued to receive one of the loudest reactions. Multiple crowd videos on social platforms confirmed this across different cities. But WWE's official social media rarely highlighted those segments. They instead promoted matches and moments surrounding Rollins, Gunther, and Logan Paul. None of these men had merchandise numbers stronger than Jey's during the same quarter. WWE simply chose to reallocate spotlight. This is not unfamiliar to longtime viewers. The company has historically handled organically over wrestlers with cautious hands. Zack Ryder, Rusev, Naomi, and even Cesaro all experienced bursts of fan-driven popularity that were never translated into sustained pushes. The difference with Jey is that his moments were tied to major storylines. He wasn't just popular, he was foundational. Yet still, WWE appears reluctant to center programming around him. The language on commentary has also shifted. Michael Cole, who once referred to Jey as the emotional core of the Bloodline arc, now calls him a resilient competitor. The reduction in phrasing is subtle, but it matters. The character who was once presented as emotionally pivotal is now framed as solid, dependable, and energetic. These descriptions are not designed to elevate. They are designed to maintain. That kind of framing removes any urgency around his narrative. He is not someone fans are told to expect things from. He is someone they are reminded exists. It's passive booking. It's not that WWE is burying Jey Uso. They are simply not building him. This treatment becomes even clearer when compared to how WWE handles other mid-level stars who break through. When LA Knight's reactions grew beyond expectation, WWE quickly pivoted. He received longer promos, a program with Logan Paul, and main event teases. When Cody returned, the company pushed him to the WrestleMania main event within months. Jey's arc, by contrast, has never had that acceleration. Even at his peak during the Bloodline story, WWE did not build him with urgency. His world title match with Roman Reigns came and went. It had no continuation. He was taken off screen for weeks immediately after. The story picked up again, but only as a bridge toward a different destination: Solo's rise, Roman's dominance, and Jimmy's betrayal. Jey has been used to deliver emotion, never to resolve it. That is the central issue. WWE values what Jey provides emotionally. He makes others look more interesting. His reactions enhance drama. His family ties provide depth. But they rarely let him be the beneficiary of those moments. He's the setup, not the payoff. Even now, in his current run, there is no scheduled major match ahead. The PLE calendar shows confirmed matches for other top stars. Jey is not listed. There's no mention of a rivalry peaking. He is in a holding pattern. The company places him in the mix just enough to justify screen time, but not enough to build momentum. And momentum matters. Without forward motion, fans eventually lose energy. They still react, but not as loud, not as consistent, not as urgent. WWE knows this, they use it, they wait for the crowd to quiet. Then they say, it didn't work. They blame momentum rather than management, and this happened before with Kofi Kingston after his title reign. It happened with Cesaro when he lost to Roman and was never seen in that spot again. It happened with Rusev Day when the merchandise outsold most others, but the booking stalled intentionally. Now it's happening again with Jey Uso. And unless something changes behind the scenes, the cycle will continue. Jey will remain a valuable presence, never a priority. He will remain a favorite in arenas, never a focus in meetings. And WWE will continue to treat him as an asset, but not a leader. He deserves more. He's proven more. He's held together storylines that would have collapsed without his involvement. And yet, his role keeps resetting. Not because of failure, because of the system. WWE has their chosen names, their multi-year investments, their approved stars. And when someone rises outside that formula, the system resists. It doesn't stop them, but it slows them. They get TV time, but not title matches. They get crowd reactions, but not build. They win matches, but never streaks. They get catchphrases, but never climaxes. That's where Jey Uso is now. Waiting in the middle.